got me so bad. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Squeaky Floorboard Society. I'm Megan.
I'm Sage, and I'm keeping that in.
Yeah, no, please keep that in. That's so good. Uh, Sage, do you have anything you'd like to share with the class before we get started?
I finally have my Halloween costume. It arrived yesterday.
Yay!
I thought the package was a bomb, so.
Yeah, I sent it to you.
Well, I came back from Dollar Tree, and I get out of the car, and I'm coming up, and it's placed really weird on my steps. Like, it is like as soon as you walk up by two little steps, it's right in the middle. And I'm like, and it's not in an Amazon package, which is where I ordered it from. So it's a
Oh.
purple monster, and it says "fun" across it. And I'm like, what is this? So I'm like frantically, like, I'm freaking out. And so one of the people that make the Megan that makes the t-shirts,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like actively having a conversation with her, and I'm like, girl, I think somebody sent me a bomb. Like, I am panicked because it's not an Amazon
Why did
package.
you why did you not just check your Amazon to see if your package had been delivered? They always take a picture of it.
Because that package wasn't supposed to arrive until Wednesday.
Yeah, I've had that happen.
So it didn't even send a notification to me saying that, like, hey, your Amazon package is like 10 stops away. It
Oh,
didn't.
mine I never get those
Oh,
notifications
I
ever.
get them
Sometimes
every
I
single
just come
time.
home and I'm like, "Oh, there's a package on my porch.
My
What the fuck is
phone
this?"
sends me a notification every single time, like it arrives at a new place. So it'll be
Oh,
like, Amazon, your package arrived at Williamsport, USA. And I'm like, cool, don't know where that's
fascinating.
at. Thank you for telling me.
My favorite is when Daryl orders stuff and doesn't tell me, and then I really have no idea what's on my porch.
It just scared me because I was like, it's not an Amazon package. So what is
Who
this?
sent this? Who sent this? It's from the government.
Well,
It's from the sheriff.
I was so scared that I was like, I was trying to talk to I saw it on the phone, and I was like, do I call the police and ask them to come look at this package because I'm scared? And mom's like, well, just wake up Dennis and have him go out there. And I was like, and if it's a bomb and it kills him, then I'm a widow.
N- Well, I mean, does he have life insurance?
No, not right now.
Oh, well, fuck that then. You can do that. He can do that after you get life insurance on him.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm gonna go check because Megan was like, check your Amazon, and I was like, it's not supposed to be here till Wednesday, and the other one's a coffee table, and this package is clearly
Not
not a
a coffee
coffee table because it was like
See, the
this
Megans are
big.
thinking logically.
And so I check, and it indeed it was. But I was
Yeah.
expecting it to be in an Amazon package, not a big package that said fun.
Sometimes what you can do to prevent this from frightening you again is you can check the listing sometimes and it'll say like if it will arrive in Amazon's packaging or the seller's packaging.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna send
I've
you a
had my
list.
costume for a while, but I ordered my wig.
I need to get the
So I
headpiece
have to
that
be on the lookout for my wig.
I've got to get on Amazon and look for the part that goes with my costume.
Okay, I'm looking. Fun.
Do you see what I mean?
I mean, my first thought wouldn't have been a bomb, but I understand your fear.
I was like, there's no way that this is actually my package. Because who sends me a
Oh, wig. My wig will be here tomorrow.
Ooh, yay. At least you know it'll be here tomorrow.
Yeah, it's already shipped. I ordered it last night at like 10 p.m.
You know what's crazy to think
It's
about?
already in Kentucky.
In
Yeah,
3 days, we go live.
that is crazy.
In three
That's insane.
days, you guys will get. Well, this episode's a while. This is dating this
Yeah.
episode, but
Okay. 3 days from this current moment of us recording.
will be. You guys will be hearing our very first episode.
When we are so excited.
I was I was crying not too long ago because I was like, oh my gosh, like 32 days is so long.
Mm. Yeah, no, it's not a long time.
No. And now that I'm like looking at it, I'm like, we're 3 days away. Like the YouTube video is already it's scheduled to premiere on October 1st. It's ready to go. The
Did we get the
audio's
thumbnail uploaded?
yes.
I just so you guys know, I make the thumbnails.
And they are
Sage does all the
wonderful.
hard work. Sage does all the actually hard work.
It's actually not that hard because I don't have to cut out a whole lot unless our audio's fucked up.
That's true.
For the
That's
most
true.
part, I just
But
gotta throw it to the wall and hope it sticks.
I do have fun making the thumbnails. I need to finish a couple more. But I have a lot of school assignments this week for some reason. Like one of my professors was like, "Do you want 8 assignments this week?" You've been giving me 3. Why do I have 8?
I have to finish a discussion board in my psychology class. And then I'm done with this past week's homework, and which technically that's due on Monday. But if I go ahead and finish it now, then I can go ahead and get a jump start on this week's homework. Because I think I have to give a speech again this week, which is annoying.
Oh, I remember having to give speeches.
I don't have to give a speech this week. So it's a practice room, prep step 1, prep step 2, and a quiz.
Oh, nice.
So
it's better than a speech.
Awesome.
So I have some very silly news. So somebody I work with went to a music festival that I'm just going to say the name of the festival because as soon as, yeah, it's Louder Than Life. Louder Than Life. And she was telling me how great it was because I wanted to go this year. I really wanted to see Powerwolf because they were there.
Dennis, sorry, before you go, Dennis called me to tell me, he's like, "Have you ever heard of this band called Powerwolf?"
You're like, yes, Megan doesn't shut up.
And I was like, "Are you not aware that season 1 is werewolves? They come up a lot."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Fine, I'll get off the phone."
So, they were performing with Dragon Force, I think, and they had Ailstorm with them, and I love Ailstorm as well. Ailstorm's the one that does the like rowing pits instead of mosh pits. You all sit down and you pretend to row because it's pirate metal.
Ooh.
And they had Glory Hammer with them too. And I like Glory Hammer. But so we were chit-chatting, but we didn't end up going this year because Powerwolf was on one day and the band Daryl wanted to see, which was Chiodos, was on another day. And so we couldn't afford to do both this year. We had just gotten new jobs. We weren't in a place where we could afford to just like waste money on tickets for 2 days, and there was a day in between them. So we would have to come back and then go back again. And that's like a lengthy drive.
Yeah.
So, because it's not even in the same state. Because my parents aren't going to babysit our kid for 3 days.
Yeah.
And then what are we going to do? We don't have tickets for the day in between. So, like, what are we just going to sit on a corner somewhere? So, yeah, we didn't go this year. I'm going next year for sure. Because my mom is going with me. Because guess who declared as a headliner for next year? My mom's favorite modern emo band, My Chemical Romance. So my mom and I are going to go see My Chemical Romance together.
Your mom.
My mom loves MCR, dude.
No, that's not the issue. I cannot picture your mom.
Well, she was like, what do I wear? What am I supposed to wear? I don't want to seem old and uncool, but I don't want to seem like I'm trying too hard. I said, it's Louder Than Life. Nobody fucking cares what you wear.
That just shocked my system.
Yeah, no, my mom is super pumped. She's like, oh, I can't wait to go see them. Which my mom does not look like somebody who, Sage can verify this, she does not look like an MCR fan.
No.
But she loves them. She's like, her exact words were, I just think they're so underrated. So,
I love your mom so much.
Yeah, it don't matter what financial straits I'm in next year, whether I'm doing well or not, I'm going to Louder Than Life because my mom wants to go and she needs me to drive. She said, I can't drive in Louisville, that's scary.
Oh my god.
I thought you'd get a kick out of that.
I want videos, I want pictures. You know what, just FaceTime me.
Yeah, I'll just FaceTime you. And the person at work that I was talking to about it, I was like, yeah, my mom is gonna want to go. And then I told her after I told my mom, I was like, hey, dude, yeah. And when I saw her at work again, I was like, yeah, my mom says we're going. And she was like, dude, is your mom ready for how crazy it's gonna be when they play Welcome to the Black Parade? I said, probably not.
I
Although I say that, my mom went to like concerts in the 80s that were crazy too. Although not that crazy. That was really my dad's thing. My dad was out there seeing Judas Priest on tour and Black Sabbath on tour and Iron Maiden. My dad was at one of the first, like my dad was at not one of the first shows, but like the first tour that Rob Halford like was riding his motorcycle around. I'm pretty sure my dad was at that one, and because he was like, it was so fucking loud. And
that
my dad is not somebody that you would expect to be like at rock concerts.
no.
But he saw everybody. Like more than once.
I feel like that does make sense for your dad, 'cause I feel like your dad's like, I'll go do this so I can say I did it."
No, he's like a huge fan. He was so excited the other week because he found his DVD that has like Judas Priest live on tour, and he put it on his TV in his office. And he was like, Megan, come look, come watch this with me. He was so excited. And my mom walks in and we're like, my God, he sounds great live. He's like 60 here and he still sounds amazing. Listen to that range. And we're just like nerding out. My mom's like, I'm gonna go now.
My
So,
first
and there,
experience with your dad was him worried about his snoring.
yeah, Sage was, I don't remember if you were spending the night or if you were just there really late, but my dad was like, what if she hears me snoring?
I think I was just there really. I don't think I spent the night with you until you lived near near the middle school.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
I think that's the only time we've ever had a sleepover.
Yeah. Was that my bachelorette party?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where
From my.
I was up for like 48 hours and I was trying my best to stay awake. I was fighting for my life.
Sage, do you have anything else you'd like to bring up before we begin?
I don't think so.
Well, today we're back on my special interest. Let me do my little special interest hands. We're back on my special interest, which is the Dogman. Because I was watching a YouTube video and I was like, oh my goodness,
Is this
there is so much more than I thought.
is this one of the ones that we have to figure out the YouTube video how to the audio, or is that for the recap?
There's one for the recap. I think there's one I could do for this, but I'm probably not going to
Okay.
because I don't think I cover the particular story that was referencing.
Okay.
Um, no, there is something for the recap though.
Okay.
But I was watching a couple of different people talk about their experiences in Texas. And if you recall, we have been to Texas in the context of Dogman before with the case of Christopher Allen Whiteley. And I said, yeah, there are Dogman reports in Texas, but I don't think that's what killed this poor guy. But I didn't realize just how much Dogman was in Texas.
Ooh, I'm excited.
So, yeah, Dogman has a shockingly long and storied history.
I cannot wait
Which,
to hear this.
yes. So, Texas is an absolutely massive state. If you haven't been there before, it can be really hard to conceptualize just how much land there is. Its great size allows it to host. Did I say that right? That felt wrong. Its great size allows it to host a vast array of landscapes and climates, from the desert plains of El Paso to the swamps of Caddo, making it home to just about everything you can think of. If reports are to be believed, that includes the Dogman. Dogman sightings are not a rarity in the Lone Star State. And today we will explore not just the sightings, but also Texas's possible history with the creature. Now they say everything is bigger in Texas, and the Dogman may be too. Some reports. A lot of these reports, I don't go into a huge amount of description of the Dogman because unless it's like something very like I'm trying to think of the right word, something very specific that a witness mentioned that I feel like bears presenting.
Yeah.
Because I don't do that because at this point we kind of know what Dogman is and what he kind of looks
Yeah.
like. However, It is not a rarity in these Texas encounters for them to be like, yeah, it was 9 feet tall.
Okay.
And typically, what we hear in other places is 6 feet tall, sometimes 7.
Yeah.
So that's everything's bigger in Texas except for me. Because for those of you who don't know, I am from Texas and I am 4'10". I'm Dogman in Texas is like 3 me's.
I remember us
That's
one day. Oh no, that was the Mothman. Never mind. Ignore me. Continue.
okay. To be fair, there isn't a whole lot before the 1800s that I could find on Google. There was a guy online who was native talking about how his tribe talked about certain similar creatures, but I wasn't able to like verify any of that through Google.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to touch on any native lore that may or may not exist because I couldn't find definitive like sources that I could credit for them.
And then I want to jump in before we get into this. So why that's a thing, which already know why, but for
Hmm.
anyone that's like, oh, why couldn't you? So a lot of practices in Native American cultures are very closed.
Hmm.
So it's because it's oral history, it's oral stories, it's just part of the traditions and stuff that we have. So a lot of it you will not be able to find. And
And
I
also, if go ahead, no, go ahead.
and I came across this when I was looking into Australia because of their Aboriginal are also very closed. So it is a common thing amongst like Native American tribes and even the Aboriginal.
Well, and also, I'm not going to dig into places I'm not supposed to be. Like, if because there are certain aspects of native culture that like are openly shared with the outside world.
Yep.
If they're not putting it online, I just assume they don't want me to know about it or that I have no business knowing about it. I mean, look what happened with the whole like flesh pedestrian thing and shamanism. Look what as soon as that hit the internet, it was blown into something else entirely. Same
Yeah.
thing with the windy boy of the north. Now we have that thing. Now we have depictions of that thing with deer antlers, and that's not what it is.
Although my favorite Native American oral story is the Deer Lady. I love her so much.
I have a favorite Japanese folklore lady.
Which
And I
one?
don't have uh, the cold lady.
Oh, okay.
I like her. You'll have to tell me about the dear lady sometime.
I can tell you really fast because it's really quick.
Tell me now. Yeah, tell me now.
So she is a lady. She is like the most beautiful woman you'll ever see. Now, see, me and you will never have to worry about being killed by her. But she is the most beautiful one that you'll ever see. But if you look down at her feet, she will have like hooves, like deer hooves.
Hmm.
And she kills bad, bad men.
Oh.
Men who cheat, men who abuse their wives, men who are just genuinely not good people. She
Hmm.
will she will kill them.
Okay, well, I see why we don't have to worry about that. Then we are neither men nor. I thought you were gonna be like, we don't need to worry because we can't be lured into the woods by a beautiful woman. I'm sorry. If Sabrina Carpenter shows up and it's like, hey, girl, come in the woods, I'm going.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's
yes, girl, I want to hear your new single before it's out. So I'm not immune. I would tell you about my little favorite lady, but I want to save her for when I actually cover that at some point in the show
all right.
because I do intend to visit. Not physically. I do intend to physically visit Japan one day, but I intend to metaphorically visit there during our show at some point.
All right.
So yes, certain nearby native tribes had beliefs in creatures like the flesh pedestrian and the wahila, which you can find online, but there wasn't anything specific that related to our discussion here. The plague of the upright canine seems to be a uniquely European phenomenon, brought with settlers to the Texas frontier. The most notable story is the story of the converse werewolf. The converse werewolf legend takes place in, of course, Converse, Texas. Converse, Texas is named after, I think it was after a military man whose last name was
Okay.
Converse.
Okay. I'm over here like are you like talking about like Chuck Taylor's?
I actually don't know if Chuck Taylor started in Converse or not.
Well, that's what I thought. It was like I was picturing like a dog man wearing like Chuck Taylor's.
His fit is so
And
fresh.
I'm like, where are the rest of your clothes?
Okay, okay, when you just have shoes on and nothing else because I
Oh,
was in that predicament recently. It feels slutty.
I don't want to
I was
know.
my
Okay.
child had gotten my clothes wet playing outside, and I didn't want to take my shoes off because I was gonna have to go back out there, and I was changing in the kitchen.
Okay.
But I was like, "Ugh, this feels dirty."
I was like, I
Just
don't.
having my shoes on. So there are a couple of minor variations in the story depending on who you hear it from, but the overall story remains the same. There was a father who was either a Civil War vet or a hunter or a farmer, but he was a very tough man, no matter which one he was. And he was displeased with his son because he believed his son was not tough or strong, and it was a matter of survival for him to become those things. The son was very bookish, very scholarly.
Okay.
He preferred to read rather than hunt, you know. As a solution, the father gives his son a gun and tells him not to come back until he has a deer. So he sends his son off into the woods. The son camps out to wait for a deer at first, but comes back not terribly long after to tell his father that he cannot do it. He saw a horrible beast in the woods. It was some kind of werewolf. The father doesn't believe his son at all. He knows that his son just doesn't want to do it. So without hesitation, he orders him back out into the woods and tells him that he cannot return without a deer. The son leaves again and ends up staking out an area called Skull Crossing. His father waits for him. The son doesn't come back, though, not even when night falls. The father begins to worry, thinking something might have happened. He gathers a party, and they grab their guns and go out to search the woods. What they find is ghastly. They find an 8 to 9 foot tall, upright wolf beast crouched over, eating its fresh kill. The fresh kill in question was the mutilated body of the son. Their bullets do little to harm it, but it does run off, and they are able to positively identify the son. The man is devastated by the loss of his son, and many say that he died soon after. Despite the lack of names and specific dates given, I find this account really interesting. For one, it predates Dogman, the modern concept of it. This story has been passed around through like oral history since the late 1800s. Second, Skull Crossing runs along a creek, and water is said to be a factor in Dogman sightings. I do also want to point out here that the area being named Skull Crossing isn't quite on the nose as it sounds. It's actually spelled Scull.
Okay.
But people seem to really like spelling it as like skull, like a human skull.
Okay.
So it gets spelled both ways.
Okay.
And third, the area of Converse was settled by German immigrants. That whole area of Texas used to be very German. In fact, the water park Schlitterbahn is only about half an hour away in New Braunfels. So, like, that's some of the most German words you've ever heard.
Yeah. I don't even
And
know
so
German.
yeah, the my mom and dad have been to Schlitterbahn. Schlitterbahn is the one where the lazy river is like an actual river of water moccasins. But they're cool with people because they're used to it.
Okay.
They don't bite. They don't bite apparently. But once again, we're seeing the arrival of this European culture with a belief in werewolves being the catalyst for what we now interpret as Dogman sightings. And while the Converse werewolf wasn't seen again, Dogman apparently didn't leave the Lone Star State. So, how do we feel about the Converse werewolf?
I still am picturing it just a werewolf wearing Converse. I'm dying. Hold on. He's killing
He
me.
killed that boy because he stepped on his shoes.
It's really cool that it's an oh my god. Okay, I'm alive.
Good.
I'm just so distraught about it.
Yeah.
Um oh my gosh. Okay, I'm fine now. Yeah, I'm fine now. Um it's interesting to me. Like what year did that happen? Supposedly?
We don't have a specific year. We just know it was sometime in the mid to late 1800s. If the father was a Civil War veteran, it had to be in the later 1800s because the
Yeah.
Civil War was the 1860s.
Yeah. So that's just it's interesting.
Yeah, my whole hang up with it is the fact that German immigrants arrive and suddenly there's a werewolf.
Yeah.
Either A, there were werewolves immigrating to the New World, which, maybe. Or there's another theory that we'll talk about at the end of the episode. So, next up, we have another older story called The Beast of Bear Creek. I think
Ooh.
you're going to really like this one.
Is it spooky?
I thought it was. It's not so spooky so much as. Well, you'll see. You'll see.
Okay. I was like, do I need to grab my turtle?
I don't think you need to grab your turtle.
All right.
The town of Clio, Texas did not have a great start. European settlers decimated the native population when they took up residence there. The evils committed by the settlers came at a cost, though. Residents often saw a horrible, upright wolf that they dubbed the Beast of Bear Creek. But they were pretty sure they knew what, or rather who, it was. You see, they hadn't finished off the Native Americans, and the one they had missed was a medicine man. This medicine man had the ability to shapeshift, they said, and he took the form of an upright wolf. Wanting revenge for his tribe, he terrorized them, killing both livestock and settlers caught out after dark. The people of this town believed this so strongly that the belief persisted until the town of Clio was no more. Clio is now a ghost town, and no one has reported seeing the Beast of Bear Creek since. The beast isn't totally gone, though. An artist immortalized its image in stone, called the Clio face, etched into a rock face that now sits on privately owned land. There is no evidence that there was ever a Native American shaman with a vendetta against the white man, although if there was, who can blame him?
Yeah.
And this could be a shapeshifter or a dogman. But either way, the residents of Clio lived in actual fear. What I find interesting is that people saw, and this is part of the reason that I don't subscribe to it being a shapeshifter. People lived in fear of this thing and said oh, it's still out there until Clio wasn't like a town anymore, and nobody has seen it or talked about it out there since because nobody's seeing it. And I find that interesting, though, that if it was somebody with a vendetta against the town of Clio, he's gone now that the town of Clio is gone. I'm more willing to ascribe to the fact that this was some kind of curse.
Yeah.
Than a medicine man who was actually shapeshifting.
Because.
Which that will tie into the theory that I'm presenting at the end.
All right.
Now, we're going to move into some more modern stuff.
All right.
Here we have the Beast of Plum Creek, which I have watched some witness interviews of, so that was fascinating. The Beast of Plum Creek is a more modern encounter with a potential dogman taking place in the 1980s. In early 1980, ranches along Plum Creek in Lockhart, Texas, experienced a rash of cattle deaths. These deaths were exclusively calves, and they were found with their stomachs ripped open and their intestines torn out. The strange sudden attacks gave rise to the suspicion that something unnatural may be at work. This was bolstered by witness reports of a strange creature seen by those working the ranches. James Witter, who worked for Buffkin Farms, was among those who reported actually seeing the monster on at least 3 occasions. The first time he saw it, he was loading horses into a trailer with some other workers. The encounter was short and ended when the creature walked on 2 legs through a wire fence to the neighbor's property. He described it as having a Doberman's face but was built like a hyena.
Can we get out of the hyenas?
I knew you'd hate the hyena. His second encounter was more frightening. While checking cattle on horseback, he had to stop and step off his horse to fix a broken curb chain. While he was on the ground, his co-worker told him that he was being watched by not 1, but 2 of the creatures he had previously sighted. One was sitting down on its haunches like a dog, and the other one was standing. This man does the craziest thing I've ever heard, but also the most Texan thing I've ever heard of. After getting back on his horse, he tried to chase one down with the intention to rope it. So he's lassoing, he's trying to get it. But and to be fair, he probably was really good at that, being a ranch hand.
Yeah.
But both creatures took off on all 4s this time, and despite being on one of the quicker ranch horses, he was unable to catch either of them. The creatures leapt the fence and were gone. After this encounter, word soon spread about the crew's sightings. Other ranchers and ranch help came forward during this time as well. Pete Schultz, a local rancher, blamed the beast for his losses. Most of the killings on his land occurred in February and March, and his own workers had seen the Plum Creek monster as well. A man hired by Schultz to work on fences fled his property in abject terror after encountering an unknown creature that was bigger than a dog and sat upright like a monkey. That was the worker's words.
Okay.
He never returned to finish the fence or even to collect his tools. Both Schultz and Witter acknowledge that while coyotes are present in the area, coyotes kill to eat, and the calves remain far too uneaten to have been killed by a pack of coyotes. Despite the initial rash of calf killings eventually ending that same year, sightings of dog-like creatures in the area have stopped. Fredericksburg, Austin, and Johnson City have all reported sightings. Johnson City actually pops up on a ton of like Dogman sightings maps, but I'm not sure if it is all one sighting or multiple since not all of them contain the actual sighting information.
Okay.
In Fredericksburg, a man reported seeing a dogman while driving in 2020, although he had never heard of the dogman prior to this. A man in Johnson City reported hearing strange screams and howls while camping on a ranch that he believed could not have been produced by humans. There have also been people posting in the Dogman subreddit for several years saying that they live in the area and have seen these creatures.
Okay.
Like if you go to the Dogman, I'm active in the Dogman sub. I be lurking. I
Oh,
don't
I know
post,
you
but I be
do.
lurking.
I know you do.
And there's a lot of people from Texas on there. And now we're gonna go to my hometown.
Ooh.
We're gonna go to Houston. And when people say the Houston area, I'm sure you've heard that, the Houston area. They're talking about a very large swath of land.
Okay.
At least when like me and everyone I know refers to it, they're talking about like all the suburbs around it and the rural area around it. Just it's a huge area of land, and they often include the Sam Houston National Forest in it.
Okay.
You almost have to talk about things that way since Texas is so big. But the Houston area has its own share of dogman sightings, especially near the Lake Conroe and Sam Houston National Forest region, which that should come as no surprise that the Sam Houston National Forest has maybe a dogman in it, because it is a very, very large protected forest.
And we've found that like most protective forests have
Hmm.
some form of a cryptid in them.
Right? It's giving
What if that's why they are protected?
that is a theory that exists about national parks in general. It's called the containment theory.
I've never heard of it before.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll briefly explain. So the containment theory is Teddy Roosevelt is the person who sets up the national park system, if I'm not mistaken.
I was going to say still actively.
No, not actively, Sage. He has unfortunately passed away at this point in time.
Emma just sighed.
But but there's a story about Teddy Roosevelt in which he may have had an encounter with either a dogman or a Sasquatch, in theory. Because he tells a story from a hunter that encounters something strange, and some people speculate that he was the hunter, but he just didn't want to sound crazy. But Teddy Roosevelt was also a very avid outdoorsman,
Yeah.
and so people think that he may have seen something out there and then started designating these areas as national parks so that they could keep an eye on whatever's out there and keep it contained.
That makes sense.
And that goes into the whole national park conspiracy.
I did not know about that. That's cool.
Hmm. Yep, that comes up a lot when you're researching Dogman, especially with LBL.
And everyone, Teddy Roosevelt is dead, if you didn't know that.
Yeah, he's very dead. Um, Also, right by the not Hoosier, the Hoosier National Forest. No, the Sam Houston National Forest. We have Lake Conroe, which that is a large body of water. It's not like a massive body of water, but once again, there's that body of water thing
Yeah.
with Dogman. And in September of 2018, one man had a particularly chilling encounter. He wrote into a couple of different places about this encounter. A man named Ryan and his wife live on the edge of the Sam Houston National Forest, and their dog was suddenly taken one day by something that yanked it into the tree line. Like while they were watching, something like yoinked their dog.
Aww.
They never found the dog nor any trace of it. Like, they expected they'd find, because I guess it was a decently sized dog, from what I could kind of grasp by the way he, like, discussed it in his sighting report. They never found even the signs of a struggle. They never found blood. They never found anything.
So like one bite. Huh.
Yeah. Not terribly long later, he was having a cigarette on the porch when he heard some odd noises. Upon shining his light into the tree line, he saw a massive wolf head looking back at him. It grabbed a tree with its hand, and take note he said hand and not paw, before rising to two legs. So he sees the head and it grabs a tree and it stands up.
No, thank you.
So he's kind of staring at it, and then it takes a couple steps towards him, and this prompts him to run inside. Right, obviously. So he goes to wake his wife up, who then comes downstairs, and Ryan is thinking it's going to be gone by the time we get back. She's not going to see what I'm seeing. Nope, it's still there in their yard. So the wife sees it as well. And it's just standing there. And it eventually runs off back into the tree line.
No, thank you.
Ryan says this has affected him deeply, and he is now afraid of the woods and gets jumpy around even little noises at night. Ryan is not alone. Reddit is flooded with people saying they know of or saw or heard about some weird kind of animal in the Sam Houston forest or in the area. Burroughs Park in Beaumont came up during some discussions, and the Lake Conroe area is also said to be a stomping ground for Bigfoot. So now people are like, oh, turf war, teehee.
Like the Snallygaster and the Dueo.
Or, worse, portal theory is true and they're working together. Like in Martin Grove's encounter.
Yeah. Let's go.
So, we'll go where?
There.
Oh, I mean, yeah, we could stay with like my family, I guess.
But we have to go
What's
when
crazy?
it's cooler, because if it's hot outside and I have to chew the air like I do here, I'm going to start sobbing and then
It's a
die of
different kind of heat.
dehydration.
We don't have corn sweat down there. So
We
it's okay.
have humidity. Like this summer, it's been like 100%, and I could die. My air should not be thick. I should not have to chew the air I'm breathing.
That's terrible. The corn sweat was really bad this year here.
I heard.
I thought I was going to die. But nearby Vidor is home to another terrifying encounter. So Vidor, I say nearby, it's not super close, but it is in that same Houston area.
I feel like when you're talking about like Texas, like if it's nearby, it's at least 2 hours away.
I don't think Vidor is 2 hours away from Lake Conroe, but I actually am not sure. I will look it up to see if your hypothesis is correct.
Well, just because I know that
Oh.
Texas is huge.
Yeah. In June of 1978, the newspaper was reporting that a killer creature was stalking the town. A 20-year-old man named Bobby Bussinger and his 18-year-old wife, what's her name? I have her name in here. Becky. Their names are so cute. Bobby and Becky Bussinger.
Oh, that's so cute.
That's so cute. So they were in a home that was owned by Becky's father. This is where they were living. They'd only been married for a couple weeks when they moved in.
Okay.
And they said that the previous tenants of their little one-story home had vacated it due to strange occurrences at night, but they had no idea how bad it would become for them.
Yeah.
They soon discovered that something was stalking their property, scratching at windows and howling and yelping. The newspaper actually said that something was stalking their property at night, howling like a wounded animal.
Ooh.
Like that was the actual newspaper, like quote, I believe.
No, thank you.
So they only lived there for 14 weeks. And over their short 14-week stay, it escalated to three of their dogs being killed, with 2 being mauled to death and 1 that was never found. This led to Bussinger taking his shotgun out and confronting what he and other residents called a werewolf and firing on it. When it didn't retreat and instead began walking towards him, he ran to his house. He recounted that he barely made it.
Ugh.
So Deputy Sheriff for the town, Jack Reeves, responded to Bussinger's call for help at 11:30 p.m. immediately after the incident. So they hear the commotion, they come outside to see their dogs literally being like ripped apart.
Oh.
And so he goes in and gets his shotgun. It doesn't pan out. runs inside and immediately calls the cops. As you should in this situation. I don't say that often, but as you should.
Yeah.
Uh, the cops might have a bigger gun than you. You never know. So Jack Reeves confirms the death of the dogs as well as the state of the home. He verified that the screens were torn off and window frames were broken as if ripped apart
That's
by
horrible.
hands.
That no.
He was also shown a footpath that Becky said the thing used. And there's like a little like shanty shitty lean-to kind of towards the end of that path that Becky suspected the creature had built.
That's terrifying.
It's not like a super sophisticated lean-to from what I could tell from the art, but it has the presence of mind to take shelter.
I don't know why that's so terrifying to me.
It's because that's a very human thing to do. Other animals don't build shelters. That gives this thing human intelligence, and it's aggressive.
Yeah.
So, but when Reeves went towards the woods to investigate, he heard screams and growling, so he didn't go into the woods. And I don't blame him.
Yeah, I don't either.
But he did stake out the area in his patrol car, and after only a little bit of sitting there, there was something scratching at Bussinger's back window again.
No.
Mm-hmm. And while Reeves drove his patrol car over the sidewalk up to the house. He was ready.
He was like, "Fuck all this."
Yeah. But he didn't get a good look at it before it fled the scene. But he did see a very large shadow retreating into the woods.
Okay.
The Bussinger. This was enough for the Bussingers. They left the house and did not return.
Okay.
Like I said, they only lived there for 14 weeks. Residents spoke of the incident and still do to this day. There was indeed a search for this werewolf, but nothing was ever found.
That's so scary.
One of the YouTube videos that I watched on the Vidor incident, a woman commented down below. There were a couple comments like this, actually, where they had said that their parents remembered the incident, or they were old enough to remember the incident, or, you know, when they were a kid, their parents would tell them not to go outside at night, and they grew up in Vidor.
Yeah.
They do refer to this. So this is in Orange County Township.
Okay.
And the Orange County website actually has a post about the Tram Road monster, which is the Vidor werewolf incident. Like, the official government recognizes that it happened.
And if the government's recognizing it.
Yeah. I mean, because there's police. This is one of the few, like, incidences with a dogman that has not only government recognition from the municipal government, but also police records. And you can see, and reporting, like actual reporting. I found out about this incident through a YouTube video, but I don't want to just take some random guy on YouTube's word for it.
Yeah.
When I looked it up, I was able to pull the actual article that was published on like June 20th, I think it was, in 1978.
Wild.
Yeah.
Don't you love when you can find newspaper articles?
I love when I can find, and that's hard to find with Dogman because so much of it is not taken seriously.
Yeah.
But this was an incident that was, and I find the Vidor incident to be one of the most. I find the Plum Creek one to be particularly compelling because I heard the witnesses talk about it.
Yeah.
It was James Witter was the one I saw, I think.
Okay.
And you know how you can kind of like, he's just like an older guy now. He's probably in his 70s, maybe early 80s. I don't know how old he is. But he's an older dude, and he's like, I grew up in this area. I've been here my whole life, except for 3 years that I lived somewhere else as an adult.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know, you can tell when like Grandpa's like making up a tall tale,
Yeah.
and when Grandpa's telling you a real thing that happened to them.
Yeah.
Like, I believe him. He sounded very genuine, and he didn't sound like he wasn't embellishing it. He was literally like, yep, and I saw it, and it was like this, and this is what happened. Like, he just sounds like some no-nonsense ranch guy recounting something that happened to him.
And those are honestly the best stories I find.
Yeah, and then also this Vidor one, they left their house and never came back.
I was
Do you know
trying
how scared you have to be to do that?
yeah, and I was trying to figure out, I was like, how long is 14 weeks? Like 3.5 months, correct?
Yeah, they
Give or
lived there
take?
for like 3.5 months.
Okay.
And the things escalated over time. And like I said, they did a hunt, like a manhunt, for
Yeah.
whatever this could be, and nobody ever found it. Which, if it's smart enough to build a lean-to,
Yeah. Then you're not gonna
of
find it.
course, it may not have built that. That may have already been there from a previous owner, and it's just using it.
Like, yeah.
But their house is by the woods. It seems like a good area. And what another thing I find interesting is that this is 1978 and Plum Creek occurs in 1980.
So, like, only, like, 2
A couple of years.
2 years? Can I do math?
Yeah. Yeah, you can do math.
I was like, I feel like I'm not allowed to say anything after the whole Teddy Roosevelt.
No, you're fine. Um, but yeah, so even though they're in different areas of Texas, 2 years is more than enough time for a dog man to walk across Texas. It's got nothing
Yeah.
better to do. Something else that I heard about, I was watching the Small Town Monsters documentary on this, and they don't mention him by name, I imagine for legal reasons, but they did reference a witness was talking about how they do there's hunts, which I'm aware of this. They do like hog hunts from helicopters in
Yeah.
Texas. And the government will do them sometimes because feral hogs are dangerous.
Yeah.
And so you want to keep that population down.
I actually know about
And the
this. I'm
guy
shocked.
Yes, the guy mentioned that sometimes they declare them in the area that he lives in kind of randomly. At times he doesn't expect. And they won't give a lot of information. And one year there was a government agency that was brought, or there was some third party contractor that was brought in. It wasn't the people that normally do it. And the locals, the local government was like, we actually don't know who's doing it. They didn't tell us. Um, and he mentions that this happened right after a case where a young man was killed, and they blamed it on a mountain lion, which we know that that is Christopher Allen Whiteley.
That's wow.
So after he dies in a nearby area, the
They
government
do.
declares a hog hunt.
That's crazy.
Which, that makes me think that even if it isn't Dogman, something that's been happening in certain areas, and this came up in Brenda Hamilton's case as well, there are certain areas where the government is doing reintroduction programs for species that have been wiped out. The red wolf and the gray wolf are also species that have, had this happen. I think that rather than that being evidence of Dogman, I think the government is fucking around and finding out, and they're reintroducing species that have no business being reintroduced.
That could be it as well.
So, and Texas is a really good testing site for that because it is so big and there's so many rural areas that don't have a lot of people.
Yeah.
That you can afford to test there, and it's unlikely that they'll make, not unlikely, but it's less likely that they'll make human contact or will
Yeah.
be put in a situation where they feel the need to defend themselves.
Yeah.
Especially when there's a lot of farms out there and there's a lot of predators anyways.
Yeah.
You might think, oh, I can get away with this. Or the government released Dogman. But I don't think that's the case. I don't think Dogman is a government creation.
I want to know what the government has on Dogman because we can access the Bigfoot file from
But
the
we can't
FBI.
access the Dogman
We can't
file.
access
They
any
don't
other
have one.
files.
I Part of everything that one, I do kind of ascribe to the portal theory. I find it super interesting.
Yeah.
But
It is.
second, I don't necessarily believe them to be physical entities. Something I find interesting that has been posited by more than a couple of people is that the reason that these creatures have been showing up since European settlers came is because the dogmen are basically like the spirit of the land, and the land is seeking vengeance. That's why you see them by so many burial mounds. That's why you see them near bodies of water. It's a spiritual thing.
I
And,
could see
you
that.
know, I think that line of thought is somewhat more common with like Texas Dogman. But it makes sense too for LBL because LBL it was a turbulent, violent land grab essentially by the government.
Yeah.
And in these areas where these great land conflicts or violence over the land has taken place, we have these dogman sightings.
Yeah.
Look at Cleo.
That's so interesting. So you just like blew my
Uh,
mind.
yeah, TLDR, white people are a problem. Yeah. Not me, though. I'm Irish. I wasn't here when we were doing all that nonsense. I was busy starving.
I also think it's so funny that, like, I actually had to look at Dogman in a different country,
Oh, yeah?
which is where I get, like, audios from.
Oh.
And so, yeah, I had to do a little bit of Dogman research. And some of the theories with that one, too, are also interesting.
Yeah, like the thing with the difference between dogmen and werewolves is werewolves represent a very primal fear that humans have. Whereas dogman, yes, it preys upon our fears in some cases. I'm torn between the idea of dogman being a trauma response and dogman being just an outright supernatural entity that feeds off our fear.
I feel like he feeds off our fear. Based on the stories that we've covered and the one that I had to look into, it seems so much of fear.
The interesting thing about the Texas Dogman too, and why I almost think that Dogman could be more than one thing, depending on the area, is you look at something like LBL or Texas, those dogmen kill people. Those
Yeah.
are a more violent, aggressive thing, and those are areas where, like I said, what are you looking at?
Sorry, to continue. Just looking.
Are you looking at Freddy?
No, I was looking at your eyes.
Oh, thanks.
Because you got blue eyes and the red. One of your eyes is like completely red on my screen and the other one's normal.
Oh,
So I was just like,
it's that.
is that me or is that you?
That's my no. That's my Sharingan. Look at the shirt I'm wearing. Okay? Don't know if you can see it. Anyways, my headphones got stuck. That's what I'm wearing. It's the Uchiha crest. So you're just witnessing my Sharingan, I guess. But this is the second time I've knocked my laptop off my desk today. I don't know what's going on. But anyways,
professional, guys.
Yeah, as I was saying, the Dogman in the areas where there have been these really violent land issues, that have like changed lives and like killed groups of people or ruined cultures or whatever. That sounded really callous when I said whatever. I just mean like etc.
Yeah.
The Dogmen are way more aggressive.
That it's so interesting.
Which I guess you could also make the argument that there's so much fear and pain in those areas that it can be both a trauma. It can be a creature that is feeding off that trauma.
What if we track one down and we try to communicate with it?
Can I be so real with you? Daryl wants to do that. He's like, I want to go meet the dog man. He said, I will make it my friend. I was like, you will not make it your friend.
What we get is we get like the pet psychic, like a pet psychic, and take them with us.
Did you see that pet psychic on TikTok that told that person that their cat was evil because they enjoyed being evil?
Yeah. Which honestly,
Yeah,
valid.
We bring them. All cats kind of enjoy it. But yeah, I don't know, I guess we could ask him. We could ask the dog man.
Yeah. Like we got to trap it first. Be like, we'll release you. We just have some questions.
Hey, can you answer these questions? And it's just like screaming its fucking head off. It's not answering any questions. It's just trying to kill us the whole time. How are we letting it out of the trap, girl?
We'll have a button that is the second we get like a mile away, we can hit a button and it releases it from the trap.
It's a dog. It's a dog. It's gonna find us.
Then we'll get on a plane, and the second we hit cruising altitude, we'll hit the button.
And then once we land, it's gonna find us.
Well, we'll go to a different
country. It's gonna
country.
haunt our dreams. I'm just chilling. I'm living my dream. Like,
but we also bring it like a bunch of food.
Dog man. Oh, we make it worth his while.
Yeah, like we're like we
I'm
have.
Like, hey, I got you this German Shepherd for the pound. She's a baddie.
You do that, and then I'm like, I have 6 deer carcasses freshly killed for you.
We brought you food and bitches. Quite literally bitches. A female dog is called a bitch. What more do you want from us, dog man?
We just have some questions.
Please answer. And he's just like,
Is that the native in me? Wanting to barter?
So be careful. You can't trust him. Can't trust him. He came with the white man, Sage. You can't trust him. He's gonna give you some fucked up blankets.
In what
That's
bag?
what he's gonna do.
Is he wearing it?
He's just holding it out. And you're like, does that have smallpox on it, Dogman? He's like,
The poor pet psychics over there like, what the fuck did I get myself into?
They're just standing there. The fuck is that? You said you had a large dog.
Yeah, he
it's not a
does
king
tricks.
torso. It's it, Dogman. It's it. Yeah, no, I'm not playing that. This is an insane idea. But yeah, no, I found that pattern interesting.
It is.
And also Texas has more land trauma than just the Native Americans being expelled from lands. We fought Mexico.
Yeah.
Texas used to be Mexico. That's why we have that whole Remember the Alamo thing. So there's been a lot of really bloody, violent stuff concerning land in Texas. So I find it interesting that they also have an aggressive dogman, kind of like how everyone in LBL, they went to town halls and they came back to their by the government.
Yeah.
And they have a reportedly very aggressive dogman that's got a kill count of at least one.
Yeah.
At least. Actually, and then we can also discuss the ranger who said he was on a boat. I didn't include this in my episode, but the ranger who was on a boat and he saw a dogman coming up on a campsite, and the couple was out by their in front of their campsite, and so he's waving to them like this to tell them to turn around, and they're just waving back. And he said he watched Dogman just kill this couple in front of him. I love that you're laughing. I'm like, and Dogman ripped him up in front of his eyes, and he was traumatized forever. And you're like,
I know. I'm just in my head. I'm picturing the Forrest Gump waving, and then Dogman just.
Yeah. No. So.
My brain's a fun
was
place.
Was he wearing Converse?
I don't know. I didn't get that far.
I'm about to make our thumbnail for this episode a werewolf in a really drippy outfit. He's got some Chuck Taylors on. He's got a little hat, maybe.
He's gotta have a chain.
He's got a chain with his Chuck Taylors?
Yeah.
The Dogman has. He wouldn't wear Converse. He'd have black Air Forces.
Yeah. Or combat boots.
He's got the black Tims.
Yeah.
In the Tims! I don't know if you've seen that video.
I have not.
There was this guy at a Comic-Con, and he's in a Final Fantasy outfit, and he's got Tims on with it, and he's dancing, and this guy's just going, in the Tims! It's so funny.
I love that.
I put it in the same genre videos from Africa where somebody's going Atasa in the background. So yeah, how do we feel about the Texas werewolf? Next time I go visit family, should I go investigate the dog?
Yes.
You just never hear from me again. You're like, oh shit.
Well, because it could be your quote unquote behind the scenes. Because I filmed quite a few videos of me putting these lights together, little clips that are I think the light one was a 10-minute video, but that's because I was fighting for my life.
Look, I don't want to show anyone my setup. It's embarrassing.
I don't even think they
getting better.
saw the lights.
Oh yeah, your new ones?
Yeah, I was fighting for my life, and I don't think they ever saw them, because every single time I sat it down, because it's got the tri-feet, a tripod, so it's their legs, but every time I sat it down, they folded back up.
Oh.
So it was 5 of those minutes was just me fighting one light, trying to figure out how to keep the legs from folding back up on me.
Nice. My setup is getting better. For those of you, there is a Freddy Fazbear in the background now.
I don't know if it'll be
I felt
in
like
frame.
that wall.
It should be.
Oh yeah, I don't know if it'll be in frame, but if it is in frame, you can see a tiny Freddy Fazbear on my wall. I just felt like I needed something over here. I don't know why I put it so close to my door frame. I think because I wanted to try to keep it in frame.
It kind of looks like he's a firefly because that one light looks like it's touching its bottom.
I should put lights behind his eyes.
Oh, you should.
Boom, 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 boom. Okay, I'll stop. But yeah, that is the Texas Dogman. Let us, comments, questions, concerns, let us know in the comments or to the email, which is in the description.
If
If
you've
you're from Texas, if you're from Texas, or you are the Texas Dogman, or you are from Texas and you've heard of the Texas Dogman, you've had an encounter, your family has stories, give us a shout.
send
Let us
them
know.
our way. We want to know. We are nosy. We like
We're
hearing this type of
yes,
stuff.
we're nosy, and we will at least exam. We may not look. I'm not gonna say. I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. We will look at everything with a critical eye. We'll never just write something off for sounding ridiculous
Yeah.
or crazy. That's our bread and butter is things that sound crazy, but that when you look at them, don't sound crazy anymore.
And because
That's how I got into Dogman.
we've had a lot of personal experiences where no one would believe
Sure.
you, but it
Right.
happened.
I had one just in between filmings, actually. Sage heard a completely different thing than I did, but it sounded like somebody was walking around my house in heavy work boots. Like, she saw the moment that my face went,
Well, you heard that sound, and the second you heard that sound, I heard like water dripping like right next to me.
and there's no water dripping by Sage.
No.
So it was very strange. I actually got up and went out and checked my house. One, I thought, what is my cat? What are my cats doing? What could they possibly be doing to make that noise? Because it didn't sound, it was a very, like, it was like a very rhythmic thumping, like walking.
Yeah.
I also thought maybe the neighbor was doing fuck shit, but they are not outside. And also, I don't know what they could have been doing that I could feel in my floor.
Yeah. And while you were doing that, I was over here going, where is that water sound coming from?
Yeah, so we had a very strange shared experience just in between recording.
A shared
So,
experience that was nothing similar.
yeah, it just happened to be happening at the same time while we were on a call.
I think, if I'm correct, I had already hit record for this episode. So I might have a clip from where we both stopped talking and
Oh.
realized that we were hearing noises.
Oh, I hope that that would be a good clip to post on TikTok later on if
Yeah.
we can add
If
something.
if
Imagine we
it's
can hear both things.
and then we're both like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that'd
But
be
so
crazy.
if it plays now, we have it.
Yeah.
If it didn't just play, I did not record it.
But yeah, so it doesn't matter what you send us. We will at least engage with it critically before we go, "Oh, I don't know." But even if we don't know, sometimes you got to suspend your disbelief for a minute
Yeah.
to get to the bottom because like there's a very specific phenomenon that I'm a big fan of, the glowing green hand phenomenon.
What is that?
Nothing to do with Dogman or werewolves. But it's the kind of thing that sounds super fucking outlandish, and hearing it from one person, you're like, that's ridiculous. But then you realize there's a lot of glowing green hand stories from people who don't know each other and have absolutely no connection to each other, and they're in different parts of the world. But the circumstances will be eerily similar, and it's the same.
Hmm.
And so then you kind of got to suspend your disbelief for a minute to look into that further and go and realize there's a lot of similarities.
That's cool.
So send us anything. Literally. You can
Literally.
send it. You can be like, there was a gnome in my toilet this morning and he called me a slur. And we'll be like, we got to investigate cases of gnomes calling people slurs.
I feel like there's probably hundreds.
So, you can send us anything.
And we'll love it.
What do
We'll
you mean?
laugh.
JD Vance was in your toilet? I'm sorry. I do keep thinking about those photoshopped images of him.
That's our VP right now, correct?
Yes.
I remember when there was like all this when Trump and Elon were arguing, and people were like, "Oh no, who has JD
Who's
Vance
picking
this
him
weekend? Who's picking him from
Who's
soccer
picking him up
practice?"
from soccer practice? Yeah. No, so
What
you
a
can,
time to be
yeah.
alive!
Yeah, you can tell us anything. We'll at least look at it. We'll probably, if it's something super crazy, you'll get an email back like, "Hey, I need some more elaboration."
Yeah, yes,
But
and
that's all I got today. So, Sage, if you've got anything.
I don't have anything else to add.
All right. Well, then we will see you next week.
Bye.
And bye.